If you're anything like me, you lose a lot of games to making decisions on autopilot. In today's lab session, we say goodbye to the format, think through our gameplay lines, and train out autopilot using our refined practice. If that sounds like a good time, welcome to Study Hall. All right, so let's just do a little recap on ECL. So I actually, whenever I started this, I think we were just talking about how learning does not equal winning, right? This was my premier draft record for Lorwyn, and at the beginning, it was abysmal, right? We're talking below 35%. Really bad. And this is what I'm talking about. I think whenever we're talking about our success, we should be willing and actually should be encouraged to be looking at this and go, you know what? That's great. I lost a lot. I learned a lot. That's what the start of this format looked like for me. And I'm not going to be so locked into how that affects my long-term win rate, right? Because we always have the last 10 events. If you really want to feel good about yourself, gassing yourself up by the end of the format, you can be like, okay, look, I have the last 10 events, I was in this bracket. Or if you play enough, you can get the last 50 events. And so I think it's important to recognize that it's really normal and okay to lose a lot, especially when you're learning. And I actually think we should encourage it. We should encourage each other to lose more when we're learning. But that was definitely true for me at the beginning of this format. And then I was really nervous, as I mentioned, that I wasn't going to like it just because it reminded me of some formats I've really struggled with. And then I ended up really liking it. I really liked this format. I didn't play that many actual events, right? So I played 23 premier drafts, and then I played 10 trad drafts. And yeah, I did much better in the trad drafts. But I did draft a lot of this format in the form of going to Toronto and playing a ton of games. And I think one of the things that is true is that whenever I go to these big events, honestly, it just becomes so exhausting and it burns me out that I don't always play as many. Like if I go to the in-person events, I don't always play as many online. And I think that's totally normal. And we should normalize too that just like playing, like burnout is a real thing and we only have so much capacity. So I feel like I did pretty well in both trad draft and premier draft by the end. But if you want a real doozy here, let me show you how much money I donated to Wizards of the Coast with my Arena Direct sealed challenges. I did, that's so embarrassing. Oh my gosh, it's so gross. I did 20 total events in the Arena Direct challenge. Gross, disgusting. And I got 0 trophies. I don't know what it was about best of one sealed in this event, but it tanked me, right? Like, look how bad these win rates are for this very expensive type of event to play. And to be fair, like, you know, Wizards is setting us up for not for success here by playing best of one sealed where you play one game and you only can lose twice and then you're out of it. But yeah, I was 62. I had like a 60% win rate by the end for Premier and like a 64% win rate for Trad Draft, and I had ended it with a 44 overall, 41% last 10 event win rate for Arena Direct Sealed. So you got me, Wizards. You made your money off of me this set. I did make it back though when I went to Toronto. So that's gambling, right? That's the gambling philosophy. If you need help with gambling, get help for gambling. But when I went to Toronto and competed in the event, I did sort of recoup some of my losses here. But definitely, yikes. This is important to show our failures as well as our successes, right? So anyway, I really ended up liking this format by the end. I got into whether this is, you know, I can't talk about whether this is universally true, but for me, my experience with it was kind of, I ended sort of where I thought I would at the, after the formed a lot of my beliefs in the beginning, where about 30% of the time I was drafting really strong typal decks, and the rest of the time I was drafting decks with good overall card quality and good removal and pockets of synergy that weren't so dependent on the strict archetypes. And I think that was a good place to exist in this format. I really liked existing that way, and by the end I was having a lot of fun doing it that way. Yeah, I think the other thing about this format that I think I really want to touch on is just that I am really happy about how it ended. It gave me some confidence in a couple different ways. One, I've already talked about this a little bit, but it gave me the confidence with my Toronto Spotlight results, right? Like doing well at this Spotlight event was really helpful, was really good, which felt really nice, felt really good, felt very validating for the work that I've been doing. But also more than that, because I came into this set kind of scared that I was going to totally tank it because of the type of set that it was, and then I learned how to adapt through that. That actually honestly felt the best. Like it felt like, okay, I was nervous about the set. I wasn't sure how it was going to play out. And now I feel really good about it. And I'm happy about that. So anyway, that is how I feel about the format. I actually think I'm going to miss it. I really like it. I'm not a big fan. Like I don't have any nostalgia for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I am nervous after how the Spider-Man set went. And so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this one. I hope I like it. We're on to it. Either way, regardless, I'm going to a LTQ in Virginia this weekend where I'll be competing in a TMT LTQ. And so I better learn how to use it, learn how to play it this week. But we're on to it either way. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave some comments with what you liked most about Lore when Eclipsed and what your experiences were like and how you're feeling about the next set that's coming up. Please share that in the chat. Also here, if you're watching. All right, and so now we're going to do our last lab session of the format. But before I do, I'm going to turn to chat and see what people have been saying. Yes, very good point, Rep Tune Repeat. Yeah, these samples are too small to carry or worry about win rate. Yeah, absolutely. Like we have a very small sample. I think that's just like actually a problem that I just want to like emphasize in general is that when you're playing Magic, it's one of the hardest things about Magic in general is that your sample size is so small. Like even the whole thing we were just talking about when we were talking about the Explore posture, we were talking about collecting data. Your sample size is super, super, super tiny. Even if you played like 100 drafts, like let's look at how I did for in Avatar, where I was looking at how many events I played. So I played 25 Premier Draft events in Avatar and 31 trad drafts, right? So I played like 50 events in Avatar, and that even there, I felt like I was just starting to get to a sample size of like, okay, I can consistently believe this about Avatar, right? We really, yeah, the sample sizes are small, and so it's not really worth worrying yourself too much about it. All right. So for those of you that aren't familiar with what I'm talking about doing our last lab session here, let me show you. All right, so when I'm collecting data when I'm trying to work on improving on a set, there's a couple of things that I'm doing. Tonight, our focus is going to be on something I call a refine practice and something I call a reflect practice. So in the reflect practice, I'm logging data about my decisions. So we'll create some new lines for our games here, and we'll be logging some of the failure modes that we're encountering, any of the pivotal decisions that are coming up, how the decisions affected our ability to be successful, and yeah, we'll be just logging some data there, right? Because to the point that somebody just made about there being low amounts of data, right? There is, like, the sample size is small. So I'm just trying to collect as much of that data as I can and turn it into something that I can process later. One, because it just helps me to reflect on those games and go through and look at my decisions and see which ones seemed to matter or seemed like they didn't matter. And two, because over time I will collect enough data to see what sort of patterns in my play are starting to appear. And the second thing I'm going to be doing is talking about my refine practice. And this is just where I have a skill that I'm practicing that I'm just going to help myself give myself a little behavioral science nudge to help myself practice. So something I'm specifically tonight, the thing that I'm really trying to hone in here is my anti-autopilot. So I know from playing a lot of these games, from logging a lot of this data, from seeing my default behavior, that one of the things that affects me the most is my autopilot. So I'll just go through a turn. I'll start playing lands as I'm thinking. I'll start casting spells or things before I've thought through the whole turn, or blockers will be declared, like my opponent will attack, or I'll need to be able to declare blockers, and I won't think through the implications of those blocks. I'll just sort of go in autopilot on what feels like the best path, sort of using my intuition. And there are times where I need to snap myself out of that intuition and snap myself into sort of calculation mode and run through, okay, if I make this line, how does it affect the next couple turns? If I make this line, how does it affect the next couple of turns? And so what I'm going to try to do is just literally tap with my finger 3 times at these moments where I need to break myself out of intuition mode and go into calculation mode. And so I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to try to tap 3 times when those moments come up, and then I'm also just going to try to stop at the beginning of my turn and in combat to like think through things a little bit more before I proceed with game actions. And so I'll be playing a little bit slower when I'm doing that than I would normally, just because I'm trying to practice this skill, and that's something that we'll be doing together here. So let me switch into the games. We have 13 hours and 15 minutes left to do a draft, and let's do a premiere draft in Lore and Eclipsed. Or rather, let's do a trad draft. All right, let's see who else is here with me on the eve of the eclipse. What is it? Whenever, I don't actually know enough about the Lorwyn lore to know what it's called when the plane changes over into shadow. Okay, pack one, pick one. So I feel like my first instinct is to go to Graveshifter. I like this removal spell a lot, but I think Graveshifter is just the strongest card in this pack. I like Miss Metal Council. This is actually, speaking to some of our earlier conversation with some folks in the chat, Rooftop Percher is an example of one that I had not rated very highly, but I've seen some other content creators that are super high on Rooftop Percher. I actually haven't looked at the 17 land stats where it ended up by the end of the format, but I think this is probably a card that I'm too low on, if I had to guess, because other people seem high on it. So I'm at least curious about what is causing that difference in our opinion. But I think Graveshifter is just very good and very flexible. Lets us do well in a specifically focused sort of tribal deck or typal deck, and also is good in just a value deck in general. Okay, this is actually an interesting choice because I think for me, like my first default would be just to take Blightrot. Good removal spell, stills in black, lets us cut black from this pack entirely, actually. But there's also a Morkant's Eyes here, which I think is just such a powerful card for the elf deck. And Graveshifter and Morkant's Eyes when we played in the same sorts of decks. I'm not sure if this is correct, but I think I'm going to take Blightrot just because I like the idea of being able to cut black from this pack. Yeah, I had a feeling some people in the chat were going to talk about taking Eyes. I think it probably has the stronger upside. Yeah. All right, we'll try it out. We'll take Eyes. I think the other thing that happens is that Elves just never feels like it's open to me. And so I am hesitant to like go in on it because I just feel like people cut it so hard. I probably, honestly, if I was drafting and people weren't saying to take Eyes in the chat, I probably would have taken the Blightrot there. We'll see how that pays off. The Pyrrhic Strike, I think, is just one of the best cards in the format for me. I really, really like it, and I take it over almost everything. So I think I'm definitely going to take that here. That is a good point that Eyes puts people into black because they're going into black-green elves. But I'm going to take this Pyrrhic Strike because I think it's just the best card in the pack. Well, there's an elf. If I hadn't taken this Morkant's Eyes, I think I would have been interested in this. Like I probably would have gone Graveshifter, Blightrot, and then taken this Spiral here after taking the Pyrrhic Strike. But I think I'm interested in taking the Dignitary. If the deck works out, it'll be a great card. Also in best of 3, I really want a Darkness Ascends for its worth. I'm not going to take it pick 4 here, but that is something that I really want to pick up for the sideboard. I like Keep Out a lot. The Chompling Changeling is interesting. I haven't been main decking this card at all. I actually, honestly, real talk, have not been playing Elves. Just because, as I mentioned, it has not been open for me. Like, it almost is never open for me. And every time I try to draft it, it totally punishes me for trying to draft it. I kind of want to... I don't think I need to take this Sneakling here. I kind of want to take the keep out. Though just taking removal seems good. All right, speaking of which, I like Kithkeeper, but Bog Slither's Embrace is just such a powerful remover card. I already have the Graveshifter in black, and I'm like leaning towards being in black, maybe splashing white for removal if I can get some good Evolving Wilds or some of the 0/4s. I'm going to take the Embrace, though. It's possible I'm supposed to be taking Kithkeeper here. I'm not even really that committed to black, so... Okay, well, there's a Forest Druid. That is what I'm going to take here. I actually have liked decks that have played multiple copies of these Dream Seizers. Like, I actually don't know what the stats are on this card, but I've actually had pretty good success with it. And obviously the Shield Bearer is great if that's the direction we're going. And this actually feels like a very late Shield Bearer, so maybe that's something to be paying attention to here. Yeah, like there aren't any elves here really coming around that I'm interested in. Like, I don't really want to be taking this Dawn's Light Archer, I don't think. Like, the Feastling feels very replaceable to me. I think Feastling, honestly, the best card here, I think, is to Seal It. I think it's very late for this. All right, I'm just going to take that. Though it's possible that I was supposed to take the 2/3 with lifelink. Stay on the Elves plan. Stay open to the Elves plan there, anyway. I think there is a chance that I play that. Best of 3. I'm just going to pick up this Unforgiving Aim. Though, it seems like maybe Elementals is open. I'm not sure about this. Take a second one. And I will take a Tennis Bricks. Okay, so if I want to be, I can be in a very splashy deck. Very color splashy deck. I did not see any signs that elves were open after these 2 picks. All the elves that got passed seem very mid to me. And so I'm definitely not going to be committing hard to elves here. Like, I could take this safe right, but like, let's look and see what else is in this pack, because I don't feel like I need to commit to it that hard. I kind of want to take Embrace again. Honestly, our Boulder Dash has just been so nuts. There's a chance that we're doing soupy things. All right, I'm going to take the Boulder Dash. I really like this card. Ooh, baby. Yowza. Okay. Yeah, goodbye, elves. We are doing soupy things. Man, I wish I'd just taken that. A little sad I didn't just take that removal spell instead of the Morkan size. I do think it was close, but that kept me. The way that I've been drafting the set is to be a little bit more, stay myself a little bit more open than committing early. I'm very hesitant to commit early, but I think Morkan size is good enough that it's like worth thinking about. But I'm definitely taking the Lockmare here. I would be happy to take this Assert Perfection, and honestly, I would love this Emissary as well. But we're just slamming Lockmare. Definitely, I still don't think I want to take this right now. Let's see what I'm taking it over, though. What would I be taking over it? Like, I don't think I need the Wicker Maw here. If I am playing Tend the Sprigs, I don't need Wicker Maw. I haven't played Giant Fall very much. I'm not sure it's looking the best in my deck. I think I actually, like, Gangly Stompling is actually probably, like, pretty reasonable. But I feel like these are all kind of replaceable cards, and I want to have at least one of these in the sideboard, so I'm just going to take that now. Unexpected Assistance. That's pretty good. I'm also interested in this Feed the Flames. I think card draw is really important. The question is, do I have enough to, like, convoke this well? I'm probably still okay taking it. I think I'm going to take this Gnarlbark Elm, though I actually... Spiral into Solitude is interesting too. This is a card that I started off way higher on than I feel about it now. But I think with all the -1/-1 counter synergies, I'm pretty happy to be trying it out here. I like the Brute. I like Wary Farmer. Actually, maybe I'll just pick up the Farmer here. Again, Dream Caesar. Actually, Dream Caesar goes way up now that we have Lockmare, right? The Farmer is just so good for that filtering, though. But I don't know. I think I like that. I think I like the Dream Caesar. This is a card, never have I ever once this set played Puka's Eye. I'm not sure that that's right, but that is true. Flock Imposter, maybe. Maybe Wild Unraveling. I don't think I need another 10 the Sprigs right now. I am going to take the Wary Farmer here. Okay, maybe I am supposed to be taking these Puka's Eyes. Maybe I'm supposed to be setting myself up for the opportunity to play Vivid. I'm going to take the Reach Creature here. Run Away Together versus the Scout. I think the Scout is probably good for some early plays. I will take the Wicker Maw. Though it could be right to take either of these cards, but just in case, I'm going to take the Wicker Maw. And then Extractor. Spinners. I also have not played Spinners at all. Oh, that's nice. That's pretty dope. All right, so we have a Gloom Ripper here. Notably, Gloom Ripper does not need that many elves to be good. Let's see how many elves we have at all, though. Just this one plus the Grave Shifter right now. I think it's still worth playing, because even just by itself, it's a -1 effect. It's still good just by itself. Also, notably, I think Glamour Gifter is probably a much better card than I have been like picking it as. But I'm just going to take the Gloom Ripper. That's interesting. I don't think I can play Champion of the Weird. I don't think I have enough goblins to do that. This has seemed, at least this is an example of where we were talking earlier about like being better against me. This champion has been very good against me. I have not gotten it to work in my own experiences. I'm kind of interested here in this Rhyme Speaker. I'm also interested in this Evolving Wilds. I'm also interested in the Eclipsed Elf. Maybe I go the Eclipsed Elf, actually. Gives me another elf for Gloom Ripper. It finds Gloom Ripper. It finds Grave Shifter. I'm probably base green-black. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Eclipsed Elf here. This is actually pretty funny. I had never seen this interaction until I was in Toronto and someone did it against me. But you can use Tam to make something all colors, and then you can cast a Wildvine Pummeler for 2. And that's a pretty sweet combo. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, pretty sweet. All right, I am just going to take Tam here, though. Gloom Ripper number 2. Don't mind if I do. Though I am interested in this Evolving Wilds. If I actually am going to play these 10 the Sprigs, though, I don't think I need as many Evolving Wilds, and Gloom Ripper is just like a big power spike that I'm very interested in. Noggle Robber. We don't have too many ways to put -1/-1 counters on things right now. Like, I'm probably not playing the Zealot or Boulder Dash. I'm probably like base. The Noggle Robber just gives me fixing also. I just didn't make a decision fast enough. Hovel Hurler, I think, is the best card here. The value of elves do go way up with 2 Gloom Rippers. That is true. The Hovel Hurler is going to be hard for me to cast, though, so I'm probably not interested in that. Maybe I take the Steam Vents just in case I'm playing blue-red. Oh, wait, elves. Woof! Oh, didn't even see that there. Glad I snagged that. I am going to take the second Druid. Do I want a third Druid? Probably not. I'm probably okay with... Maybe I take the Moonglove Extractor. This one has been so awkward. It's such a bad such a bad attacker. But maybe here I'm still okay with that, just because. Like Dawn's Light Archer. I feel like Guilt Leap's Embrace is so much of a better card than Dawn's Light Archer. But with the 2 Gloom Rippers, all right. Did we just backdoor our way into Elves? I'm going to take the Blighted Blackthorn here over this Extractor. Oh, and there's the Wildvine Pummeler. I think I will take that over. Yeah, I'm going to take that because it's just a big boss. Yeah, this Unexpected Assistance might be too hard to cast. Let's see. All right, so now here's the real question is, can I play this more concise? Did I pick up enough Elves at the end that I can play more concise? Like, am I back into Elves? Like, let's just see what happens if I sort of go in on the elf thing. Let's just cut the white for now. I don't think I'm going to be cutting white truly because two of my best removal, well, Pyrrhic Strike specifically is in white. If I can splash for it pretty easily, we'll see here in a second. Elf, like let's just do a green black elf build for a second and just see like what my count on elves even looks like. Oops, that's not meant to do. Nine elves, 2 shapeshifters, 11 elves. That's pretty good, honestly. Not much removal though, right? Which we just had talked about. I don't know though, like this is the tricky one, right? I'm not sure. I think like the Dignitary is probably fine, even if I, like as a 2/3 without the ramp, it's like fine. I guess it's not something I'm excited about. But how many ways do I have to put things in the graveyard? I didn't pick up any of the self-mill cards, so I just have this Garblade Scout and the Informant and like elves dying, right? Like the Extractor dying. I think it's worth being elfy. So what are the cards that I want to play that aren't that? I want to play these cards. I'm not sure about this Unexpected Assistance. I don't think I'm going to be able to make that work. Tend the Sprigs. Because there's sort of a little package here, right? Of like the Lockmare and the Blackthorn. And let's just figure out what the mana would look like. So if I have, without these Tend the Sprigs, if I have 9 sources of green, that gives me on turn 3 9 sources of black. I don't think I need 2 planes. It depends if I'm playing Tend the Sprigs or not. How many planes I even want. Oh, that's 19 lands? Yikes. Let's look at our chart. Let's use science. Or math, not science. How many sources do we need? Tycho Selk in the chat put me onto this this chart, and I haven't been able to look back since. All right, so to reliably cast my Great Forest Druids on turn 2, 8 sources puts me at 90% likelihood. 9 sources puts me at 93% likelihood. That's pretty good. 8 sources is not ideal. 9 would be fine. How much that's black do I want to be able to cast on turn 3? Not a massive amount. I think that, so like I'm looking at like Moonglove Extractor and Gnarlbark Elm. So to be able to cast these on curve, I need 8, like 7 to 8 black sources. Yeah, that's fine actually, because with the 2 Great Forest Druids, that works out. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. But let's think about the other ones though. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I'm thinking about it. Check this out. Is that the Great Forest Druids count as black sources by turn 3? Um, so then if I'm thinking about the rest of the cards, I'm looking at like Pyrrhic Strike, Keep Out, and Lockmare. Lockmare, obviously, like I would like to be able to play early if I have it in my hand, but I think honestly I'd be totally fine playing it late. Yeah, I know that we're still looking at the chart. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at some of these other cards to see like how. Let's say like I need them on turn 5. Uh, by turn 5 to cast them reliably, I need, what is this top row here? 6 sources. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, where does 4 sources put me by turn 5? Okay, that's not bad. 83% by turn 5 with 4 sources. Because what I'm sort of like debating here is like if I'm thinking that by turn 5 is when I want to be playing these like the Keep Out and the Pyrrhic Strike and the like Lockmare, I want to be playing them by turn 5, then having like 10 green sources, or sorry, like 2 green sources that count as rainbow, so like 3 sources each, like a true splash, puts me at like 80%, or I guess 90% with, oh no, that's 5. Oh, it puts me at 70%, 72%. That's a really good question too, right? Like having the double pips for Lockmare specifically. You know what this makes me want to do is play like more copies of 10 the Sprigs, because then I can sort of count that like that. So let's say that I'm going to do that because I think Lockmare it's important. I think having 2 blue sources is important. So then what am I cutting? And having the white sources for my removal is important because my removal right now looks like Pyrrhic Strike, Keep Out, Bog Slither's Embrace, sort of Gnarlbark Elm, and then Darkness Ascends if I'm playing it. I don't think I probably want to be main decking it, so I'll take that out for now. But I have it in the sideboard. So I only really have these like 4 sources of removal. If anything, I'm pretty light on. Oh yeah, that's true. The Gloom Rippers are also removal. Okay, so I have 6 sources of removal, but the Gloom Rippers are sort of small stuff removal. I really only have Bog Slither's Embrace and Pyrrhic Strike as hard removal for big things, just notably. Okay, so then what do I cut? The Noggle Robber is also sort of a source of fixing in the form of treasure. The Wildvine Pummeler, while it does combo with Tam, right? Like Tam makes it really, really cheap. Maybe it's not the most important thing, though it does have Trample for the Gloom Ripper, which might be really important. The Blackthorn, I feel like combos so well with Lockmare. I'm nervous about excluding it, or I'm hesitant to exclude it, but maybe just drawing the cards off of Lockmare itself and like being able to put a couple back on with like Dream Caesar and the Bog Slither's Embrace is okay. But the Blackthorn also combos with Gnarlbark Elm. I don't know. I'm hesitant to cut that. Like what I really want to do is like cut this like Dawn's Light Archer, or like these like 2/1s that like this is the perfect example of a card that if I'm top decking this totally sucks. It's really, and I don't think I'm like aggressive enough to make it a good attacker, but I also don't really want to cut too many elves. Yeah, I feel like that's a good call. Yeah, I'm sort of like deciding between heavy elves and soup, and I don't think I really want to be heavy elves. I think I'm okay with minimal elves because I actually don't think I'm like the best fill your graveyard deck. So maybe I cut more Morcant's Eyes and these 2 extractors and possibly the Archer. And then be soupy. Be green-based soup. That has some elf synergy in the form of Gloomripper. I actually kind of like that. I have a feeling this will do better overall, just because I don't think I'm going... I mean, the Morkant size... How many hits does Eclipsed Elf have? Well, it has the lands, which are like fine hits. And then it has like 1, 2, 3 pretty good elf hits. I actually think, and maybe this is crazy, do you have 21 mana sources in my deck? 17 lands plus 4 ramp spells. So yeah, 21 mana sources. I'm actually like, my default here, I actually think that like Morkant size, like just because of the Surveil, might be good enough. Yeah, it is. I think it is a lot, except for that these kind of count as like especially with my tree folk, these count as creatures too, right? Like these are these are going to be 3/4s with reach a lot of the time instead of just being mana sources. And these are early plays, which I think are really important. They're really early tempo plays. So I count them as mana sources, but they're also pretty functional. I think these two. I kind of want to like run the eyes anyway, just as like a Surveil. Just for the Surveil. I'm not sure about this. I haven't played this card too much because I've never been able to. I haven't been able to play elves. I'm not sure if like just surveilling off of it and then eventually making like 2 to 3 elf tokens is good enough versus playing a mid elf. What do folks think in the chat about that have played with these cards more? Because I'm not sure, but it feels like the Surveil is really good. No, I don't think the mana demands that I play both the Sprigs. I could probably cut one. I could probably cut one, play Morkant's Eyes, and play the Reach 4/2. That's probably reasonable. Yeah, I think that's okay. Because then that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources for blue, which puts me at like 90% on turn 5 or 85% on turn 3 or on turn 4. Yeah, okay. I like it. Let's run like this. Let's see how it goes. The Unexpected Assistance is the other card draw spell that, like, I don't really think I want to rely on that double splash, but having 2, like, double pips is hard, but the card draw is important. Let's see. I think that Morkant size will be good that way, even just for the Surveil, even if I'm not getting a ton of hits off of the graveyard ability. All right, so reminding everyone for the chat, my reflect practice is going to be just pausing intentionally and thinking through my turn before I make any game actions, stopping an important combat steps, and trying to do an intentional triple tap whenever I need to snap myself out of autopilot mode and go into calculation mode. I think that the Tend the Sprigs is an example of a card that I've been higher on than most other people, but it's just been really good for me, especially in these green-based decks where I have like a non-zero amount of tree folk. It just makes a 3/4 and ramps you a lot of the time, and that's really good for 3. Like 3 mana to make a 3/4 and ramp, like very good. So I think cutting 1 is fine in this deck because we want more elf stuff, but yeah. All right, I'm just gonna play a forest here in the pass. There was a turn where I could have picked up this pendant also, and maybe I should have, since I had Morkant's Eyes. I guess I think we were kind of moving towards soup at that point. All right, I'm just going to play a swamp and pass. Here we go again. Next turn, I'm probably just going to play Eclipsed Elf. Opponent's not applying too much pressure. I will take the Scout. Next turn, I'm probably just going to play Dream Caesar. Unless they give me a good reason. Well, they might just... Are they just going to attack here? That's interesting. Yeah, they're just pushing damage. The blocks. Out of curiosity, how would I rate the average trad player against the ranked best of one player? Let me think through my turn, and then I'll answer that question. All right, I think I'm fine playing this island because I'm just going to play the Dream Caesar. The question is, yeah, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to make them discard their last card here. The question is, am I attacking? I think the answer to that will be no. Because I think I would be okay if I make them discard their last card and then I trade both of these for this. I think that's probably fine. So, like, it puts me down in value a little bit. Let me put the counter here, though, so that if they don't do that, I can attack in the air. I think I think my average, like, because I'm playing a lot of times in Platinum or Diamond or Mythic, and so the average player when I'm playing in ranked best of one tends to be pretty high. And I feel like there's a lot of variance in trad draft where if oh okay, this is interesting. I think I'm actually, am I okay double blocking and trading here to save on damage? We'll see what happens if I do that. I guess if I do that, they can get rid of my black permanent. They'll probably kill my Dream Caesar though, and then I can still cast my Pummeler if I want to. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So they're gonna have to attack and tap a Merfolk. Like we just want to burn them. Like, they're out of resources right now. We just want to stay alive. We want to not die. So like the average player in trad draft swings a lot. Like, sometimes you just get someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and then other times you end up against somebody who is like really good, but you can't tell. And I think that honestly, like, maybe that's the hardest part, is just like not knowing the skill level of the person you're going up against. I think I'm gonna play the Wildvine Pummeler as opposed to playing these two, just because that really makes it hard for them to attack. Like, they can't even trade, assuming they don't draw removal. And I'm not going to attack with the elf either, because I'm happy to trade the elf for their guide if they do have removal for my pummeler. Yeah, then the other thing is, like, the pummeler also eats their core if they don't have removal and attack with it. They're in like an interesting place where they can return like not much, right? Like, they don't have much that they can do. They can send this guide to bring back a 2/1 and then they get it back with the pendant, but that's seems like a pretty weak line. Now, this is an interesting question. If they do this, yeah, I think I still block with the pummeler, though there's a chance. Like, what's the worst they could do there? Do damage to an, like, they're probably just gonna, they could do damage to this creature. I don't really want to give them, if they do have that removal spell, I don't really want to give them the chance to kill this and then do this again next turn, though. I guess, like are they gonna be spending their turn to do this? That's okay. Let's just find out. It's possible I'm not supposed to give up a chance of them killing my 6/5 here with a pump spell. Yeah. Oh, and first strike. Oh, I didn't even think about that first strike spell. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the reflexes. That's on me. And I don't have white here for the Pyrrhic Strike. Both of those would have been great. Hypothetically, we're interested in just like trading down resources here. Reading that last line was a little bit tricky because they like could have just been like playing to loop their merfolk. So like I don't think I assume that they necessarily have something if they're attacking with the Meander's Guide. It's a little bit hard to read, but I maybe like should have just defaulted to keeping it alive so that I could attack with it and like start swinging the tempo back in my favor. Like, what's their plan here? They're just gonna keep trying to kill this, get it back with the guide next turn. Am I okay with that? Am I fine with that exchange? I think so. I think I'm okay with them just like trying to play them on value, though they have a value engine going right now. I just have way more cards in hand. Okay. Well, that's pretty good actually. I think I'm gonna play out this plains and then attack with a 4-2. I think there's a reason I don't want to do that. The only reason I can imagine I don't want to attack with the 4-2 is to like leave it up to block against the core. Like I don't is this the point where I want to start attacking? Is the question that I'm trying to ask. Like, is this a point where I want to start attacking? If they activate the core, I just shoot it and something else with Pyrrhic Strike. Like, do I want to try to start to erase them here? Because they can start attacking in for unblockable. I think I'm going to choose to start attacking. So I'm going to play this out. This is actually an interesting choice here. If they turn this core into a creature, do I destroy the creature? Do I destroy both the artifacts, like on attacks, and then just trade the elf for the guide? Because they're going to try to get back their 2-1. Because like if I blow this up right now, like if I just blow up both of these things, I trade like the Eclipsed Elf for, they're just going to get it back with the pendant anyway. I kind of like that, I think. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. This is tricky though, because to do both, I have to kill my Dawn's Light Archer. So I need to draw some stuff, is what I'm trying to say. Like their board isn't too scary. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see what I surveil into. Honestly, that blocks. Like, yeah. Is that crazy to leave that on top? Like, how much better or worse is my average draw than that? Just because that blocks. Like, I probably have, like, I think almost anything else I draw that's not a land is better than that right now. So let's put it in the bin. But a land, which I'm at 40% to draw, is worse than that. So That's true. Yep. I think that's a really important line here. Or like thought is that oh nice. This is why I like tennis bricks. I'm just gonna get this and get an island and then make a 3-4. And yeah, we're just gonna the chat is Techo's up in the chat is running through the like, do I attack with the 4-2 line or not? And attacking with the 4-2, instead of being able to block with it, I had to use it to blight, which gave them back the spikeling effectively. Oof. Well, actually, I said oof, but it's actually not that bad because 3-4 reach. Dude, that's why I think I'm pretty high on tennis bricks. Like a 3-4 reach is just so relevant in this format. And it can play it for 3 instead of for 4 as a changeling. I'm on a 9-turn clock, or less than that, because they can attack wide. But how many elves do I have in my graveyard? 1, 2, 3. Oh, and one of my Gloom Rippers, unfortunately. I think I'm still going to attack with the Informant here. I'm pretty happy to trade it with their board, anything on their board. And I just like need this game. I need to sort of do, like, I can't just wait forever because of their inevitability with the Scoundrel. Though if they do have removal for one of my blockers, that's pretty bad for me. Because they can start to go wide. This is an interesting choice that I'm not super confident in, is like when to start attacking when I'm playing the defensive deck. Like when do I need to start putting a clock on with my attacks? If people have thoughts about that, I'd be happy to hear about it. But yeah, I'm a little uncertain about that. Oh, that's perfect. So let's think through this before we attack. I'm gonna Grave Shifter back almost. I was gonna say my Gloom Ripper for sure, but let me think through that if that actually makes sense. I think it accomplishes the same goal as bringing back the Elm, and it's better, I think. So I think I'll definitely get Gloom Ripper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I have mana for both. Am I gonna attack? I think probably, right? I played the Grave Shifter. I buff this for something for +4. Maybe I buff the Wary Farmer and attack. All right, well, the clock's running down. Let's tap like this, though. Take the Gloom Ripper. Cast the Gloom Ripper. And now what do I kill? I'm going to make this Wary Farmer huge, I think. I'm going to attack with it. And now the question is, what do I kill? And I think I kill their... Is it ridiculous to kill their Scoundrel? Like, their Sky Swimmer obviously is like worse if I can't get the reach. Like, if they have a way to get rid of my reach creature, the Sky Swimmer is like a bigger problem. The Scoundrel only kills me slowly. I think I killed the Sky Swimmer, actually, because if they just get rid of my reach creature, like, I'm in trouble. And now they can't block my Wary Farmer. So let's attack like this. It will feel really bad to use that on the scoundrel, but I will keep that on top just in case I need to. I think I like killing the Sky Screamer there because it doesn't give them the option to take out my farmer if I attack. Maybe I was actually supposed to attack with my tree folk there too, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I have only ground blockers now. Yeah, I probably was supposed to attack for 3 there with the reach creature. But now they're on the back foot big time. And so I don't think they can really take the time to attack with the scoundrel and tap their stuff to kill me. The thing that actually does really screw me up, or the thing that would make that harder, is if they had a Bark of Doran, right? Like the shield that makes a scoundrel a real threat. I would have liked to kill the Stratosaur. Oh wait, I can kill the Stratosaur. Because I'm going to have the Bog Slither's Embrace next turn. Perfect. Yeah, like this isn't really that good for them. I'm going to make the Grave Shifter smaller, I think. Oh yeah, I don't have to make anything smaller. I can just pay full price. Kill the Stratosaur, attack. Whoa! Spell Snare. Spell Snare? Who's playing Spell Snare? That's crazy in the main deck. Oh, I haven't seen that like this whole time. That's crazy. Now what do I do? Because, all right, I think I just passed the turn. They can hit me for 1. There is another Gloom Ripper in the deck. I really wish we had picked up an Unbury. That would have been so primo. They are in a tricky spot though, because I've been pressuring their life total a little bit. If they attack in with the Scoundrel and they tap down the Spikeling, then they can block these 2, take 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, it's not nothing. Land is not good for us though. This is one of those times where I almost want to like hold the lands in my hand to like pretend I have something. Is there any reason I like make them think about attacking? Yeah, all right, let's play the psychological game. I still don't think I can attack here. Though I could attack with the 4/4. The question is like, am I willing to trade my 4/4 for their 1/3 if they call my bluff? That actually like feels okay to me. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna offer the trade on the Scoundrel for my 4/4. And see if they're gonna let me put 4 damage in for free. Nice. Oh, I had control on. That's unfortunate. That was supposed to hold priority there. Because now I'm pretty close to being able to just attack. Like, if I keep doing this, if I get any removal spell, hey, we like that. I think that wins the game here. Because I can play this and then remove 2 to stun the Stratus Snare, and then I think that's lethal. Let's see. They block the Gloom Ripper. Yeah, that's lethal. Nice. Okay, so a little bit I don't know if shaky's the right word, but navigating through the like the when to attack when I'm being defensive is like something I'm not sure about. Like it was good for me. There was a couple places where it worked out really well, right? Like playing the Gloom, like attacking with the Gloom Ripper, kind of like faking something there, like allowed me to get in for lethal that turn. Attacking with the 4-2 probably put me like slightly behind on value. All right, so what do they got going on? Merfolk? 2 toughness? Oh yeah, we're definitely bringing in Darkness Ascends. That's definitely happening. Unforgiving Aim, I feel like actually is like pretty reasonable. I really want to bring in Boulder Dash. That's what I really want to do. But I don't think I'm going to. Unless there's stuff that's bad. Let's see what's bad here. Keep Out is like fine. Yeah, I was just thinking about that too. Like if I bring in the Instructors, like they can't just like chump it very well. I mean, I guess this 1-3 just like totally bricks it. But that's just the 1-3. The Archer felt pretty bad, actually. I guess it trades with the artifact, but they're not. I don't think that that's really like what they're trying to do. I think I like almost want more Tend the Sprigs, but if I'm playing more Tend the Sprigs, that makes me want to run a mountain, just one mountain, and then play Boulder Dash. Noggle Robber, Wary Farmer, Morkant's Eyes. Okay, I actually have way too many cards in here now. I did not think through my sideboarding ahead of time. Yikes. All right, Mountain, you're out. And then I have too many cards in here, and we're about to lose it. I'm going to cut the Unforgiving Aim. Yeah, that was a bit of a rush job. I should have thought through the sideboarding ahead of time. It's okay. Jakey Lucky. What do we lead with here? There's a Preacher. If I have the Morkant's Eyes, I feel like this, again, I haven't played with this much, but I feel like this is something I can find slamming a little bit later. And then Informant over Scout. I think I'd rather trade the Informant, right? So maybe that's like a good enough reason. But trading it, actually, but I might need to trade it with something a little bit bigger. No, I think it's fine. Surveilling is fine. I think I'm just okay leaving the land on top. Though maybe I shouldn't have been. I think I just want stuff off the board here, which makes my surveil not as good. But you know what? I'm actually fine with that. And then maybe actually we'll put the swamp in the bin. That's kind of hilarious. Yeah, let's just get like Merfolk off the board. I think is what we're doing. And then we maybe put the swamp in the bin because we're gonna, yeah. I can play the scout, which still trades with the navigator. Because I'm not gonna play 10 the sprigs this turn, I don't think. Oh my gosh, spell snare. Was not thinking about spell snare. That's twice that has been not even on my radar. I just have not seen anybody else play this card the whole format. So it's not even something I've thought about. It's kind of a yikes. Like playing around spell snare, it would have been better to 10 the sprigs to get white. Ooh, Darkness Descends looking juicy. Unfortunately, now because I ditched that land, I don't have double black. So I can't get white and double black for Darkness Descends. I think the double black's gonna be too important, so I'm just gonna go get it. I'm gonna take some damage here. I think my sequencing was a little bit suboptimal here. Like I probably just wanted to keep that land on top. There was like some like fear, like some FOMO about losing the surveil, like the double surveil, that made me want to ship it. But I think it would have just, like I knew that I wanted that land, so. Okay. Well, that's pretty good for me. Because this kills the navigator. Let me just see if there's any reason I'd want to do anything else besides this. Like, I don't think it's worth trying to like Grave Shifter right now. I think I'm just going to Darkness Descends. Though this does still leave them with the core until I get white. Yeah, I think I definitely punted that away by not hitting my land drop. Oh, man. I don't know if, like, you know, they had nothing in hand, so I think it was okay to play the Darkness Descends, but would have been really nice to kill that Sky Swimmer. Oh, this is so awkward. I think I'm just going to play out this Dignitary. Because my other option is what? Grave Shifter and get back one of these. Doesn't seem that good. I wish I could Dignitary and Eyes here, but I can't. But having more mana next turn feels good. And I think I'm just going to pay full price for it so that they don't know about the Morkant's Eyes, I guess. Because the Eyes actually is pretty reasonable here. Like they're just, yeah, they're just going to make a 4-4. They're just going to get in for a bunch. Yeah, like I think that's something that happens too. As we've been talking about, a lot of my errors come around value decisions, and like the missing value on the surveil death trigger, like causing FOMO, like when I knew that I wanted the land on top, is an example of like a very small like micro decision that that haunts me. Yikes. I think I still eat the Peddler here, even though I'm going to take one more point of damage. Let's do some math. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For sure, I'm going to go to 5. I could eat the 1/1 and go to 4. I'm still not dead to flyers next turn. So if that's the case, it doesn't like change my count that much. So I guess like actually no. Let's just prevent damage, because even if they're just looting here, like I have more cards in hand. I should be able to. Oh yes, beat them with card advantage is what I was gonna say. Okay. Okay. 6 mana. Gloom Ripper's great here. I think I still eat the Sky Swimmer. Say more about how 1 point of damage represents a whole turn. Oh, just because like the shore lurker, you mean? Like I have to kill a flyer to win, and if that's the case, then every point matters. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, there's another one. Man, opponent really just ripping thread after thread after thread off the top here. Actually, to that point. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that plays out. Okay. So what's the best thing I could draw here? Not lands. Is there anything that I could draw? A white source, which then let me cast Keep Out. So I think that's the only play that I've got right now. Like Graveshifter, getting back a creature doesn't do anything. So I think I have to go Blackthorn, hope to draw a Plains, which is a pretty far, like it even like yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think there's a couple of key mistakes in this this game, but not keeping the land on top was probably one of the biggest ones because I just couldn't play out my hand fast enough. I got pinched on mana. They're killing me here with 5 cards in hand. I got pinched on colors too. But that's kind of expected. Okay. All right, so let's think about this then. They have so many flyers. Like, they're winning with evasive creatures mostly. So I think I really want to focus on that in my sideboarding here. Like, I don't think the Moonglove Extractor is the way I want to go. I do like the Tend the Sprigs. I think I am going to bring in both the Unforgiving Aims. I'll bring the 4/2 back in. And I'll take out... Take out what? Like, is Morkan's Eyes too slow? It might be. I could see it being too slow for this matchup where I'm just getting run over. Am I supposed to... I guess I don't need to add a Plains because I added a Tend the Sprigs. Graveshifter, Dream Caesar. Right, yeah, I'm thinking about that too. Like maybe the Noggle Robber comes out here. Because, like, yeah, maybe both of those. Because they block on the ground, which is good, but they don't do anything about the air. I don't know. Maybe like Tam, even though it gets the pummeler out faster. I don't think that they had much like actual removal, right? Like they had combat tricks that we saw. So like Tam probably isn't that useful, except for the fact that it's a 2-drop early. I kind of like this. I don't know what the last cut is though. Maybe the Blackthorn, honestly. Again, it's sort of just like slow combo and like 5 mana that doesn't have reach. Yeah, all right. I cut some of my card draw, but I died with 5 cards in hand, so that's not the problem. Lockmare to make the mana better. Reasonable. Reasonable. Yikes. There's no way I can keep this, right? Even with the Surveil to like find something to do. I don't think there's any way. Like it has all my colors. If I just draw gas the whole rest of the game, it'll be fine. No. This is awkward too, because I don't have the double black for the Darkness Ascends. And if I maybe I toss the planes. I really don't want to toss the planes, but I want to be able to make sure I cast Eclipsed Elf on 3. Actually, if anything, I think I toss the island here, because I'm going to need the planes for removal. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's see what we got. That works for me, sir. And you can't counter this with Spell Snare. Ha! You know what? I will take that. Darkness Descends, looking juicy. Gnarlbark Elm, looking dope. I think I am just going to play the Gnarlbark Elm here, even though it's not like fast. I don't want to attack first. I don't think. I think I'm fine with them trading their guide for the elf. I'm going to have plenty of other targets for the elm. Like, I'm just trying to slow them down. That's my main plan right now, so I didn't want to attack first. Oh, Chitness Graspling. Yeah, like, I can still just... So my plan for this turn is going to be to make this into a 3/4 and play the Informant. And actually, the Elm is so good with... like, Darkness Ascends doesn't kill it. Like, doesn't ruin it. I think I actually am going to keep this Tend the Sprigs. Just because I want the blue, and a 3/4 is good. Feels pretty good for me. I was trying to decide if there's like some world here where I want to try to be like attacking and baiting out a Darkness Descends, but I don't think we're at that point if that world does exist. Though like we're in an awkward place where we can't really attack through this Graspling. Tell me why I want to just like attack all here and then play Tend the Sprigs. Like my stuff's gonna die anyway. How do we feel about... I don't what? Like I guess I don't want to trade my Eclipsed Elf and my Informant for their stuff. Elf and Elm, Informant. All right, sure, yeah, fair enough. They're the three... Yeah, okay. Let's try that. I don't really want to trade my Informant for their... their 1/1. I don't think it matters how I play this, so I'm just going to play... Get an island. Okay. This board's about to get pretty stalled. And actually, I can get the Elm back with the Grave Shifter. So what do we think they have? They have the Same trick they had last time, +2/+2, and first strike. Yeah, they're trying to bait me with this oops. How do I feel about that? Because if they bait me, they get to double kill both of these, but I can't just like take a bunch of damage forever. I think I'm okay with just blocking their Sky Swimmer, and then if they use that trick, they use that trick, and then I play another 3/4 next turn. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oops them back. That's right. Sorry, that would have been the right way to do that. Okay, that's pretty sweet. So let's think through our options here. I have 6 mana. I could like one of my 4 drops and a 2 drop. I could get back my Gnarlbark Elm with the Grave Shifter. I think I kind of like attacking with both of my things here, and then playing out Druid plus Graspling. Oh, don't tap like that. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm in this like awkward place where this wipe, man, they really can't attack through my 3/4, which is nice. But this wipe, like I'm building to the board so I can keep pushing damage, but then I also have the wipe in my hand. Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly right. We wasted their mana. That's why I was pretty happy. I was pretty fine doing it. Like if they spent their whole turn wasting an attack to kill my 2 drop, like I'm okay with that. Okay, let me think through some lines here. There's a world where I just like attack with everything and then play Darkness Descends. And then like we wipe both of our boards. Probably not good. I could also play the Grave Shifter, get back the Elm, and then I have better attacks next turn. Like I'm in an awkward place with this Ascends where I don't want to like necessarily keep building my board out. But I kind of like getting the Elm unlocked online too. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get the Elm online. I'm not going to attack. I guess I could have attacked with the 3/4 first, right? And then they could just like chump it, but I don't think that's necessary. They probably would just drop it, block it with their 3/4. The other thing about this Elm line is like with Darkness Ascends, there's like I can put other counters on it, so I can get like a -4 in some scenario. Like I'm not sure how exactly the hacker's in right now, but just like something to think about is that there is like additional toughness and power to be gained here. Okay. I think next turn I attack with both my Eclipsed Elf and the Informant. And anything that, like if they try to block with the Graspling, I can kill it with the Elm. I would have liked to be able to do that kind of like surprise, but I would have needed 3 more mana to be able to like play the Grave Shifter and the Elm and activate the Elm. So I don't think that, I think that's pretty far off of getting the element of surprise in that way. All right. Yeah, so I think here what I'm going to do is I'm attack with my 3-2 and my 3-1. And then if they block in a way that is, like if they block with their 3-4, I can then shrink it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I don't think I want to attack with my 3-4 because it's holding back their whole line. And I don't think I want to attack with my 2-2. Yeah, I don't think I want to attack with my 2-2 because they can just eat that with a 3-3. I don't have two activations of this. Okay, so let's go to attacks. And let's attack with these two. They're stuck on mana. This is kind of a good spot for me. And I can play out the 10 the Sprigs if they just do nothing. And if they do nothing, I don't think I want to take out their 2-2 flyer with my Elm. I think I want to use it to try to eat this Graspling or make it hard for them to block with a 3-4. I guess there's a world where I probably should have 10 the Sprigs first, so that if they kill my 3-1, I don't lose the surveil value. That was a mistake. I should have thought through that first. I should have at the beginning of my turn. Okay, nice. Because now if they don't do anything besides like play another creature out, I can just Elm the 2-2 and then swing out. I think it's really hard to do. I think it's really hard to know how to do that correctly. Because yeah, like I have this Darkness Ascends in hand, and it's kind of a dead card right now because I'm just playing out to the board, and I keep playing out to the board. But I think, yeah, like I think exactly what you just said. I think I'm just ignoring it for now because the best thing to do is to try to push to the board because they're stuck on mana, and I think that that's okay. I also struggle with this, right? Like, 'cause like there was a world where I just like was holding back and trying to get maximum value out of this, and it didn't kill any of their 3 toughness stuff. They still don't have good blocks though. And next turn, let's just do the math real quick. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers, assuming that they just have a spell snare in hand. Right, exactly. Like, so if I kill their 2-2, then they'll have 4 blockers, and I'll have a bunch of 3-4s. So they'll block 1, 3-4, 2, 3-4, 3-4-4, and that's lethal. Yeah, I think I just have lethal here, and I think they just have a spell snare in hand. So I'm just gonna go for attacks. I don't think there's. I guess the only other stuff that they could have some convoke spells. Like they could have, like let's think. I think the only realistic thing that they could have that would matter would be convoke destroy attacking creature, and if they do that, then their distractor shrinks one of my things. Yeah, or they have like a pump that would work too. But if they can shrink one of my things, let's run through that where they convoke pump and they can shrink one of my things. Then I'm hacking in. They block 1, 3, 4. They block 2, 3-4s. They block 3, 3-4s, and they block a 3-2. And then they take 5 exactly. I feel like that might still be kind of bad for, like, how bad for me is that? They get to eat one of my 3-4s with a 4-3. And then I get to play Darkness Ascends and wipe them anyway. Oh, and they get to eat a lot of my stuff, actually, if they do that. Oh, this might not be a good attack. I actually think I might have punted it with the preemptive attack, not thinking about their pump spell, because then they get to like make these into 4, 5, or 5-4s. So I think I'm actually just going to attack with these two. The 5-4s won't die. They'll just eat my whole board. I guess like I can play Darkness Ascends. and then everything will die. But then I'll be out of creatures. Dang it. I think I did this wrong. No, they don't die because they can shrink. I guess like they could... screw it. All right. They die if they try to eat one of my things. But I think that I think they're going to get me here with this combat trick. I think they're going to get me with the combat trick. I don't think that they die if they do this right. I think I will be able to wipe everybody. I will be able to wipe the whole board, though, with this Darkness Descends. If they don't have the combat trick, they don't have it. Oh, they don't. Okay. All right. I was pretty sure we were about to get totally wrecked there by that combat trick. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. So let's go back and do what we're doing. So first things first. Oops. I'm all into the details later. But did I do, in those 3 games, did I do my refine practice? Anti-autopilot. I think I did it. I guess it's kind of hard to keep track of in a best of 3, more so than it is in a best of 1. But I think that I did do it. Let me think through it. So the first game, for sure, I did it. I noticed and I acted. I think I paused appropriately. I'm gonna say like, actually maybe acted inconsistently because I only did the tap thing one time where I was like, like I knew this is the point to stop. I'm gonna triple tap to like snap myself out of it. I'm actually not even sure how helpful that was. This actually honestly was a little bit like more like an experiment on how to try to handle this autopilot than anything else. So I'm gonna give myself like a notice and acted inconsistent. I did pause though. I did stop at the right moments. What do you think, chat? What do we think? How did I do in my how would you rate my autopilot navigation in those drafts? Because I'm not actually sure how reliable my assessment is of it, and I'm curious what you think. I feel like you are pausing, talking through the play, but aren't reasoning about the play. Instead, you are just talking through your intuition. That's really interesting. I kind of feel like you're right. But I don't exactly know how to define that. Because what does talking through my intuition look like compared to talking through talking through the play? Because I'm talking through like the different outcomes that could happen. Like that kind of feels like both. So I'm curious what your differentiation is there. And I'm curious to hear about them in the chat. I'll review some of the data while we're doing that. We'll look at some of the reflect practices. So first game, what were the decisions that mattered? There was this decision to attack, I think was the big one, right? Like I double blocked here. I think that was fine. I play the giant. I chose to block with the giant. I think that was wrong. All right, because it ended up hurting me, right? Like I put them in a position where a combat trick really wrecked me, and I blocked with a giant, and they took out my 6/5. Versus if I had blocked with my 2/1, sure, it offers just like a clean trade, and they could have survived that too, but that feels a lot better for me because I still have they tempo themselves by playing the combat trick, and then I still have the 6/5 on board. So I think I am going to mark that as my first decision that was rough. So let's put the 17 lands Lincoln here for this one. And I think I'm going to call it like blocking with the giant. And what type of decision was it? I'm going to call it it's a combat decision, blocking decisions. And I think it was wrong. And I think it negatively worsened my position in the game. So yeah, I made a blocking decision. Looking back at it, I was kind of like going back and forth between should I block with this or block with this. I guess if they had a pump spell, which they did, specifically the pump spell they had that let them eat this because of first strike, which I should have been able to guess if I've been thinking about the pump spells in the format, that was definitely the wrong choice. If they had had I guess I was thinking that maybe they had like destroy attacking or blocking creature, and that would have gotten this anyway next turn, but there was a good chance they had that pump spell. So I think that was just the wrong choice. That's okay. All right, good to know. They take out my big guy. I play out more dudes. I eat their blocker. I attack with the 4/2. This is the one that we were going through where we're like, okay, should I have attacked with the 4/2 or should I have left it back to like be able to threaten a block here? And knowing when to attack, I was at 12 life, so I'm obviously behind. I'm obviously behind, and actually, I think looking back at this, I think this was the wrong call because I was behind enough, and this 4/2 reasonably blocked this 4/4, and then put them in a position where you have to do something and activate this. Because if they just activate this and attack, I can literally just trade the 4/2 and the 2/1 for these two. They loop, get it back, and then I have Pyrrhic strike up to kill it the next turn. So I think that was just also a wrong. I think that was I'm gonna call that a mistake. So attacking with the 4/2. And that was a attacking decision. And I think it worsened my position. And I think it was wrong. It's interesting because I still think I won this game. I was able to, yeah, this is a game that I was able to win. But yeah, I ended up having to use waste resources. Like I was using my resources in an awkward way after this, as opposed to just being able to cleanly answer it with blocks. Yeah. And then is there anything else about this that I want to try to capture? Choosing a removal target. This was the one where I chose to kill the Sky Swimmer with my Gloom Ripper instead of the 1/3. I still think that was a good decision. I think that positively supported my thing because then it let me attack with a 3/3, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I had killed the 1/3 instead. I think that, yeah, I heard there were some votes in the chat for killing the 1/3 instead. But I think the other thing that's true is that like I was only one blocker away from this 2/2 getting in for a bunch of damage, right? And this was a much faster clock than the 1/3. Like I'm on a 7-turn clock for this 1/3. I guess if they play a couple things that pump it, that's different. But the 2/2 here, all you have to do is like bounce this 3/4 with any of the bounce spells, and then the 2/2 is just killing me very quickly. So, and it lets me attack and push damage. I'm not 100% confident in that decision, but I think I would make the same one again. I'm curious why people want to kill the 1/3. I think two people in the chat talked about killing the 1/3, and I'm interested in hearing why. I'm not ahead on life. I'm at 7 life, and they're at 16 life. They're way ahead on life. They're winning the race. If they remove my 3/4, they win that race. You know? The 1/3 did come up as a blocker later, I guess. This is what we're saying. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I think I like it. I think I like the killing the 2/2, but I do think I see reason like I think the 1/3 just doesn't on board kill us faster. Like if I think a very reasonable play line for them is play Temporal Cleansing, play Run Away Together, play any bounce spell, and if they kill my if I'm assuming that the way that they win is by killing my 3/4, then I die much faster to the 2/2 than I do to the 1/3. If the way that they win is they play something that pumps their 1/3, I think that's less likely than they just have a removal spell for my 3/4. So I'm happy to hear other different opinions in the chat, but I think that's how I feel about that. All right, so then let's go to the second game. And in this game, okay, so this game, we played the 3/1 first. I think I do agree with the sequencing where I'm pretty happy to draw a land or not a land here, so the Surveil doesn't have very good value, versus if I just play the 2/2, I can get more value out of the Surveil later, and the 2/2 blocks just as well. Yeah, so I think I do agree with that. I think sequencing of creatures hurt my position there a little bit. Negligible. I think honestly, if anything hurt me, it was binning that land. So I'm gonna put that as my first big decision. I think it was like binning a land on Surveil. I don't actually think I have a decision type for that would cover this. I guess it's like land sequencing, but that's not exactly right. It's like card selection is really what this is. So I'm just going to say card selection, and then I'll add that later, because I think that actually is important. I'll come back to that and add that later to my sheet. Improving the sheet all the time. Let's just put it here. I think this was wrong, and I think it worsened my position. Thinking about the sequencing of the creatures and about how being the land was bad, but playing the 3/1 felt strictly worse than the 2/2, even if it was a smaller thing. So yeah, I think that was wrong for sure. If we don't have a better thing that comes up here in this game, I will use that one. Yeah, because the sequencing, we just got pinched on mana here. I think we just died with 5 cards in hand, and we didn't have lands. Yeah, they just got too powerful. Okay, so yeah, I'll do that one. I think that actually is probably good enough to capture. Binning creature, and so then it was sequencing. Playing the 3/1 first. Yeah. I think there's also just like something to be said for getting my stuff in my graveyard. I have a non-zero number of things that care about that. So it could have also come up where milling stuff early helped me out later, just with like not having to take an extra turn to try to mill something out. And actually they countered my miller anyway. So it probably was worth just playing the 2/2 for like a number of reasons. I don't think I was thinking of that at the time. I don't think I was thinking through it in that way. So maybe we can come back to that as an example of the sort of like autopilot or not, because I don't think I was thinking through that at the time. All right, and then the last game. Let's see. They play a 3-2. I play the elm. It's kind of awkward, as the elm often is. Killed their 3-2. I don't remember what I surveilled. I think there's a decision here that came in, where was it? About, I think the decision that comes up here later is just like me pushing damage, right? But this is one that I think actually did well. We were talking about the darkness descends line versus the just like pushing damage line. And I think playing to the board here and just continuing to put pressure was good. We also played around this combat trick effectively. We read our opponent well, and I think that was good too. So let's see if there's anything else that comes up in this game that I want to talk about. But I think that was the right play. Playing the grave shifter, get the elm. I guess like we didn't play around like the combat trick here. That's the only other thing I can think of, is that like when we got to this end game situation and we didn't play around the combat trick and we just ended up attacking with everything, and they just like we made them have it. Like that ended up working out for us, but I'm not confident that was right, because like let's just look at these blocks they have here. If they did play this combat trick, they eat with the shore lurker, right? Because it becomes a 5/1. They eat with all their creatures, and then I still don't have lethal. And I can darkness descends to kill their board, but then we just wiped both of our boards, and they have 3 cards in hand, and I have 0 cards in hand. I guess I have like, maybe I have one of these 3/4s left. Like maybe if I got lucky, they left me this one. But I think that is a little bit, I'm still not sure this attack was right. I'm thinking of the Eardu's Blessing one, the +2/+1 to 2 creatures. It gives 2 creatures +2/+1. Unless is that only attacking creatures? Wait a minute. Oh, Appeal to Eardu is what I'm thinking of. 1 or 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 until end of turn. Yeah. No, they don't die. So if they give 2 creatures +2/+1, right? So let's say they give, for example, even just with how they blocked here, if they give their 4/3 +2/+1 and they give their 3/3 +2/+1, then they can eat 2 of my attackers, and when they tap the Wanderwine Distractor, they can give one of my unblocked creatures -3/-0. Because they'll tap it for Convoke, it'll shrink one of my guys. I'll get in for 2 damage with just the 2 damage creature. So they'll go to 3, and they'll have eaten most of my board, right? And so this is the thing that I was worried about, is like I felt like if I make this attack, there's a really good chance that they just eat my whole board and I die. But I had already committed, sort of, right? Because I had instead of just like if I was to do this again, I think what I would do is just attack the same way I did the turn previously, where I attack with just my 3/1 and just my 3/2, because then if they block with the 3/4, I can kill it with the Gnarlbark Elm. If they trade for any of their 3 toughness creatures, I'm pretty happy with that. And then next turn I set up for an attack all. I think that's what I should have done here. When instead I committed to killing their 2/2 without thinking through like the math of how that Convoke spell would work. I kind of committed myself to this plan and I went for it and it worked out, but I don't think that means it was the right choice, right? So I think that's an important one. So what are the things that I want to talk about here for this game? I think there's the decision to play to the board instead of my board wipe was a good decision. That was like identifying my role right? I think is probably the right way to think about this, though maybe there's another, it's sort of like a play on curve versus holding out for a stronger play. Disrupting my opponent versus developing my board. Actually, I think it's that, because I decided to play to my board instead of disrupting my opponent, and I think it was the right decision, and I think it improved my position. But then there was this decision to push attacks into possible devastating combat trick. This was an attacking decision, or sort of like a interaction. Honestly, with this is a mix of things, right? Because it's sort of an attacking decision. It's sort of an autopilot decision, right? Like I just without thinking through it all the way, I committed to killing one of their things. But it's sort of also like a playing around removal and tricks decision. I don't think I would consider that attack bad if I hadn't seen the appeal. Yeah. No, I don't think I would have. Because, I guess, actually, maybe. Let's think through it for a second. Because the other thing that they could have had, one thing that they could have had was the appeal, which we saw, which would have eaten a bunch of stuff. But the other thing that they could have had was the destroy target attacking creature. That's a very reasonable one for them to have. And if they do that, and they tap the 4/3, they make this, they shrink this, they get in for 2, they kill one of my other things. That's still not quite as bad for me, but it's still pretty bad. This is tricky though. I actually don't know how to assess this because, do I play around? This is just do I play around a trick? And the fact that it's a convoke trick means it's literally one of those two things. The only things that I could be that would actually negatively impact me here are those two things. It's the destroy target attacking creature, and it's the appeal to Eardo. And so is it worth playing around here? And I guess the question is, can I afford to play around it? And I think the answer is yes. I think I could have afforded to play around it because me still attacking with 2, 3, with my 3/1 and the 3/2, leaving up the removal from my Gnarlbark Elm, they still don't have good blocks. And it puts them in a position where they're eating their blockers. Their blockers are dying, and I'm still increasing my position in a way that I don't think they're going to recover from. So I still think it was a wrong decision, actually. I still think it was a wrong decision. So how do I want to categorize that? How do I want to think about that? It worked out for me, but that doesn't mean it was right, right? Playing around removal and tricks. And it did improve my position, the fact that I didn't play around it, but I think it was risky. I'm going to call it risky. I think it was wrong, probably. I think it was wrong. It's kind of a gamble, but I think it was actually just maybe wrong. What do you think? What do you think, chat? What do you think about that choice? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Chat. I am going to leave it to you. Do you want to play one more game? I probably only have one more. Actually, no, I have to play these through because it's about to end. But do you, maybe we don't do the whole deep dive for all this. I don't think I have enough time tonight to do the whole deep dive. So maybe just play the games. I'm going to play the games. You're welcome to hang out if you'd like to. I was going to say we could vote on it, but I actually think that because I can't finish this later. Tonight's tonight to do it. I won't enter any more data on it though, because I don't think I have enough time to do that tonight. Yeah, we'll speedrun it. Exactly. Let's crank it. Last draft of ECL. Starting tomorrow, we're on to turtles. Turtle time. I guess the other decision that happened that we didn't talk through was the sideboarding decisions, right? We didn't think through sideboarding ahead of time and kind of rushed those. And I think in that matchup, I think I should have had both of the shoot flyers, shoot artifacts or enchantments in there. I think how we ended it by the third game was probably the right way to think about it. Yeah, I still don't think the moon gloves ever come in because they can even just be blocked by the 3/3s, the 3/3 flyers that we saw in the 1/3 flyer, the 1/3 on the ground. I don't think they should come in. I actually don't know where the Moon Gloves belong. They've seemed really bad to me every time I've played them or have had them played against me. With the exception, I think there was one deck where they did really well, and it was basically they had like 4 copies of that enchantment that gives something indestructible and trample. And so they were just like attacking with this card that seemed bad and then like pumping it using combat tricks to keep it alive and drawing enough cards that they lived that way. And I think that that was the only deck I've seen where I was happy with them. Like I would have been happy to play them in gloves. I think that this is good. Maybe that's the wrong way to think about this, but I think this is good. I'm going to keep this because I have 2-drop into 3-drop. This one helps me filter. This one gives me treasure. Bam bam. Bam bam. Bam bam. Okay, merfolk, merfolk, movefolk, as far as the eye can see. Yeah, I'm gonna do this so we can offer a trade. And I'm gonna keep that on top. All right. Here, I think I'm actually going to play the Noggle Robber instead of the Elm. Because, yeah, it just gives me more options. Oh, this isn't, I should have thought about this first. Am I going to attack? I think the answer is no. I think I still am assuming that they're the aggressor in this situation. Autopilot failure. Yep. I should have thought through it first. Think through my whole turn. Good call out. All right. Hey, blue land. We don't mind that. All right. Think through my turn. Think through my turn. Think through my turn. I think what I want to do is not attack. Maybe I can attack with the informant, actually, because I think I'm fine trading my informant for either of their creatures or a trick. Like if they flash in the 2/2, that's fine too. So I'll attack with the 3/1, and then I will play Tam and leave up Pyrrhic Strike, because then next turn I can, if I don't have to use the treasure, I can play Gnarlbark Elm and activate it if I want to. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to play this island. Attack with the informant. I guess I could have not played the island too. Play Tam. All right, they gain life. That happens. They do this. That happens. When this creature enters, return up to one of the target nightline permanent to its owner's hand. If they target my treasure, I'm just going to kill them with the Pyrrhic Strike. Or kill the currents. Oh, it's just a 3/3? Oh, they're bouncing Tam. It's Blight too. I think that that's fine. Because I still have the Noggle Robber. I guess I wasn't, when I attacked, I wasn't thinking about this 3/3 Rareth Flash. Okay, this seems really bad. Okay. Let me just read this card again. I've never seen anyone play this. Choose a creature type. Whenever a permanent you control the chosen type enters, put charge counter. Remove 3 card counters. Copy an instant or sorcery spell. I've never seen anyone play this. I'm going to block with the Noggle Robber, I think. Because it gives me more treasure, and the Elm can block next turn anyway. Well, that's pretty good too. All right, let's think through the turn. I think I'm going to attack with the informant. And then it's possible that I'm just going to play Elm and activate Elm to kill their Preacher. That seems like pretty reasonable, honestly. All right, so I'm going to attack first. Yeah, Tanner, you do see sometimes when people just play cards like this in best of 3, which maybe there's a deck where this card's okay, but if there is, I haven't found it. So another question is like, do I play this and activate? How likely are they going to be to punish me for not activating in blue-white? I actually think not very likely. So even though I'm kind of tapping out of it, I am going to play Tam and Gnarlbark Elm because like I don't really care about this 2/2. Right now my life total's so healthy. And having Tam up is going to be better for me. Like I'm fine taking 4 here. The best suggestion that I got about the way to train the grueling tournaments actually came from one of my friends, Michaela, who suggested that actually I just need to do more physical exercise. And I think that's like actually like a really good point, is because when I'm doing a lot of exercise, I feel way better mentally, and I think that will just have like a really positive impact. But in terms of training the endurance on the just actual gameplay, I'm not so sure about it. Okay, so I don't know why they would play the Well Guard because I can just kill it with this Elm, which I think is what I'm going to do. And can I kill it with the Elm and play the Eclipsed Elf? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can. So I'm going to start by playing the Eclipsed Elf. In case I just hit a land. Yep, which I do. And then I'll play the Swamp. And then I will kill their Well Guard. Right. Yeah. If I've ever needed a motivation to to get in shape, was it my wedding? Is it like getting in shape for the health of like me and my wife if we're gonna start a family, for my own benefit, for my own looks? No, it's so that I can do better in Magic tournaments. That's exactly the reasoning. All right. I think I'm gonna attempt to trade the elf here for their peddler because they're just looting and that's the worst thing going on. And I don't mind the 3/2 though. Let me think through the attacks though, because actually if I attack for 9 next turn, like it just takes up my ability to attack. Do I care about that? Like, do I want to race here is the question. I have so much more power and they can't kill any of my stuff because it. All right. Yeah, I convince myself. No blocks. Because like I just have so much more power on board to race, and I have onboard protection for my creatures. Some attack with everything. If they personify, I think I'm definitely just gonna Pyrrhic Strike here. Because if I Pyrrhic Strike, I can blow this out. If this happens, thinking it through, if I let this happen, they'll be able to trade with my Eclipsed Elf, and they'll be able to trade the 1/1 that comes out of it for my Informant. But here I can blow up their Torque and their 2/3 and deny them that ability. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to Blight 2. I'm going to do both of these things. They get blown out. I get 2 counters on my Gnarlbark Elm, which then lets me kill their 2/2. They're just totally blown out here. Blown out big time. Okay. Dude, that's why I'm telling you, Pyrrhic Strike, 100% my favorite card in the whole format. 100%. Like, if I had to pick one, I'd pick this one. I think it's just like so good and so brutal, and the number of times where I've blown somebody out this severely is large. All right, but what are they doing? They're on Merfolk. Everything has 2 toughness except for this 2/3 and this 3/3. Oh, and this 2/3. Well, actually, okay, so most of the stuff has 3 toughness actually that I've seen. But I would imagine that there's a lot of stuff with 2 toughness in their deck. So I think I still am going to bring in Darkness Descends in. Nothing that I saw really gets wrecked by aim. Like I don't care about their artifact. Actually, this can't kill the artifact anyway. Yeah, I think they're on a worse heart. The 3/4 from Tend the Sprigs feels relevant. But what do I want to take out? Let's start there. Let's start at the takeout. This 2/2 feels pretty bad. Like, it's good for our deck. It mills stuff. But it doesn't seem like it trades with anything. I think I'm actually going to take that scout out. That might be I'm not sure if that's a good decision or not. But against all of their 3 toughness stuff, it just didn't seem to matter. And everything else has 3 power. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. We have 40 seconds, though. Any other thoughts from the chat about how I should be doing this sideboarding differently? I feel like that specific toughness and power matchup feels relevant here. All right, I'm going to go in 5 if I don't get anything in the chat. Yeah. And the other thing about this Sprigs is that it's not guaranteed to be a 3/4. Like, I think it is going to be often. Like, I might say like 60-70% of the time in our deck is going to be a 3/4, but yeah, I'm not sure what to cut either. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Right, I also have the 4 mana 3/4. Yep, that's true. Well, our opponent just mulliganed 3 times. So none of those sideboarding decisions mattered. All right, final boss. Let's go. Probably this is the final game of the final match of the format here. Friends, thanks for coming and hanging out on our final best of 3 match of Lorwyn Eclipsed. Really liked this set. Really had a lot of fun with it. Really learned a lot in getting better at this set, playing in this set. And it's been really... Also, this was the set that I started streaming on. Aww. That's going to make me emotional, actually. That this was the set that I started doing Limited Lab with. And so just really want to shout out a lot of appreciation and gratitude for the people in the chat that have been hanging out with me on stream and supporting the beginning of this program, giving me someone to talk to when I'm out here playing, so I'm not just talking to myself. Now we're on YouTube. Now we have stuff going on. It's a good time, but it all starts with the friends that you had. So thanks, friends. Really appreciate you. All right, I will be on the play. Unfortunately, I cannot keep this hand with 5 lands and 2 spells I can't play. I can keep this hand, though. Oh, this is interesting. I want to keep a 2-lander. Like, I want to tuck a forest and then play the druid on 2, get another land with the Eclipsed Elf, not lose the Blackthorn. That's a little bit greedy. I think I'm going to do it, though. All right, they're not going to have removal for my 0/4 on turn 2, right? They could be playing Spell Snare. Okay, no Spell Snare. Not wrecked by Spell Snare in this game. Dude, 3 merfolks in a row. Everybody loves merfolk. All right, let's go get some lands. Take double black here. Notably, if they do kill my Eclipsed Elf, I can't play the Dignitary. I could... oh, wait, no, I could. I could play with the Forest Druid, and then I would be able to get mana out of the Dignitary. It would actually be better for me. All right, before I make any moves, let's think through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I want to attack with the elf. I'm not sure it's worth playing around a counterspell here, because I don't think that's what they're doing. I'd be surprised if that's what they're doing, because I kind of want to like slam this pummeler, because the other option is to like play these two things, right? And if I'm gonna slam the pummeler, I want to play it before blocks in case they have a way to remove my elf. But if I'm just gonna play these two things out, I guess two spells is the most like the most conservative. All right, I'm just gonna do that. And actually, let's see. So I'll attack with this 3/2, see if they have a trick or something. They don't. I'm gonna play a land. Let's behold this. Behold an elf. Yep. And if I have elf up and I draw a land, never a fool, Tycho Salk. If I hit a land next turn, I can activate Elm, play Blackthorn, Blight 2 onto the Elm, which is pretty sweet. One of the comments in chat is about something to talk about in the future would be how to transfer learnings, or what learnings you shouldn't try to transfer from one set to another. Ooh, Champion of the Shoal. That is juicy. That's pretty good. Let's see. Now this is awkward because I can't play out anything because this is tapped. But they can't really attack into my elf. Let's just make it hard for them to attack, I guess. Appeal to Urdu. Okay. I think that actually the thing about what to transfer, what not to transfer, is totally wrapped up in the explore conversation we had at the beginning of this stream, right? Because I think it's all about what the axes are that a set operates on and what are important on those axes, right? Because it's like what learnings matter from set to set really just changes depending on how the set is constructed. Like all the lessons I learned from Avatar about how to draft soup, none of them apply here. Or not. It's not that none of them apply. Like I learned that the components to draft soup is not present here the same way that it is there. I'm not going to block here, I don't think, because they didn't tap down my druid, so I can play a 5-drop next turn. So I don't need the dignitary. Like I considered blocking with the elf just to get the dignitary, but I don't think I want to do that. Right, and I think the things that transfer have more, in my opinion, have more to do with, like, I think, yeah, maybe that's a good point. Yeah, like there are some things that transfer, some like skills, some takeaways. Like for me, I have a lot of learnings from this set that will transfer to other sets, but that's different from like set orientation, I guess. So yeah, maybe that's worth thinking about. What do I want to play here? If I had an elf in my graveyard, I could almost activate to kill the distractor and then blight and then activate again, but I can't. So I think instead I'm just going to play a giant dude. Play big 6/5, I think is what I'm going to do. And I think actually, if they just keep trying to attack, I think I might just chump with this elf. Well, yeah, maybe I should start attacking with the elf. That's a good point. Like maybe it would have been good to attack there. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 6, 7. No, I wouldn't have enough. I need 5, and then I need 11. Yeah, I'm not close actually. Okay, well, Pyrrhic Strike will hopefully eventually make that good. Do I want to block here for the mana? I don't think so. I mean, it would let me play both of these things next turn. But, like, their stuff gets worse the more objects I have on the board, right? Like, they have to, like, tap this down because... Yeah, I don't... This is tricky. I'm not sure the right answer to this question. Like, do I chump to get mana? I don't think so. Plus, I can play the Blackthorn, which will be able to... Like, if I drop this Blackthorn, like, if I play this island and play the Blackthorn, what do I blight onto? Because this just blocks the... Like, maybe I just don't blight anything, actually. Maybe I just play out a land, play out the Blackthorn, pass turn. I can't blight onto the 6/5 because of Blossom Bind. I can't put counters on it. So I think that actually, yeah, I think I just do this. Like, make it harder and harder and harder for them to attack. I think is my plan. Make the board as wide as possible. Make it, like, way more difficult for them to push damage. Because if I blight onto this, it becomes a 1/5, which can still chump. I could blight onto the 0/4, but I kind of want to be able to block. I can't block anything with the 0/4 anyway. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Like, I'm just going to still not attack because I don't think I can race, and I need them to have more and more awkward attacks. This Dignitary not being able to make mana has been awkward, unfortunately. This Elm is next turn, actually. Oh, that is brutal for me. Oh, rough. That was a good one. I can't take this damage. I think I need the mana. So I'm just going to chump with the... Okay. Man, we almost got into the point where this Elm was popping off. Let's see. 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can play the Blackthorn and play the Informant. How is that for me? Versus playing the Elm and activating the Elm. No, I don't think that works for me. All right, yeah, let's do this. And I don't think I'm going to lose a life. And I think I am just going to play the 3/1 here. Do I just lose here, actually? Was this a terrible decision? Do I need the life gain? Honestly, I think lifelink is fine. Do I just lose here? Man, this Champions of the Shoal is just so nutty. All right, let's see if there's any chance of survival here. I get 2 blocks. I'm hopefully able to trade with... Oh, no, because they're just going to tap that down. Oh, okay. Block there, chump there. They just played this Champions of the Shoal and just, like, ran the gamut with it. How do I feel about this Scarblade Scout on top? Let's do the math. 1, 2, 3. Assuming that they don't do anything else, which maybe is, like, really silly to think through. I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can play this and activate it to, like, kill this, or I can play this and play the lifelinker. I don't think this wins me a game. I think I actually need to draw Gloom Ripper. to kill their champions of the shoal. But now I can't gain life. Maybe was that my only way to gain life? It might have been my only way to gain life. But it's not even a very good way to gain life. Okay. Well, that is not a Gloom Ripper. Actually, let me think for a second. If I play this land out, do I have 8? I do have 8. That makes 4 of these guys. They can tap 1 down. Yeah, okay, that's what we're doing. For sure. Okay. Oh, it makes 5 of them. Okay. All right. Let's see, Morcat's Eyes. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. I forgot that it counts itself when it goes to the graveyard. That's a mistake I've been making. I don't know if it counts as a mistake. It's an error that I've been making this whole format. Is like Morcat's Eyes counts itself when it goes to the graveyards because it's an elf. The Clanshin Festival is Kithkin. Okay, so let's eat their chump. Okay, hold. Hold. Unfortunately, I can't attack and draw cards with this Blackthorn. Let's see if I'm supposed to attack at all here. If I played Noggle Robber and the Gnarlbark Elm, am I supposed to be attacking with some number of... Like, am I supposed to attack for 6 here? Or even more? Am I supposed to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 7 makes it a 3-turn clock. Or, sorry. 6, 7, 8, 9. Makes it a 2-turn clock. If I can play out 3 creatures. If they have removal for 1, they tap down 1, I still live. Oh, dude. Right, I'm going to play three blockers. So, Druid, Gnarlbark Elm, Noggle Robber. All right, yeah, let's go for it. Okay. Show me what you got. Nice. Come on. We lose to the board wipe. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's go for it. I don't think there's anything they could have here that would punish us for swinging out. Except for accidentally killing myself off of the Blackthorn. Oh, wait, they're at 8? Why did I think they were at so much less than that? Actually, I was like, there's nothing they could have that would punish us. I should have shrunk their thing first to make this bigger. That was almost... That could have been bad. If they had a removal spell... Yeah, like I for some reason, when I looked at their life total, I thought they were at so much less than 8. I don't know why. That was an auto moment for sure. That was an autopilot moment. I was just like, oh yeah, attack everything. That's good. Okay, that's pretty sweet. We somehow managed... Actually, honestly, big shout out to Morcat's Eyes. Morcat's Eyes, thank you for keeping us alive in that last game. You totally saved our butts. Merfolk again. I did not see anything that made me think that Darkness Descends would be really good here. So I'm not going to bring it in. Though, like, they would hypothetically be good in their... against their deck, assuming that they're just playing a bunch of Merfolk. Like, maybe we just didn't see the right half of their deck. Again, this Scout not feeling super impressive. So maybe, like, over Scout. Well, Changeling... I don't know if Changeling was really... Like, I kind of wanted to play the Tend the Sprigs over the Changeling. But Scout kind of does our graveyard thing. All right, I'm just going to leave it like it is, I think. Wow. I'm really glad that I saw that Morcat's Eyes line because we would have been super dead otherwise. Yeah, I can keep this, I think. Have the informant to help me hit a land if we don't draw one naturally. Have Eclipsed Elf. Have Lockmare. Best card in my deck. Okay. Okay, this is a half of the deck that we didn't see. This is a half of a deck that we didn't see. That goes in the bin, unfortunately. And actually, I think if they offer me a trade here, I think I will trade my 3-1 for their 2-1. Oh, wait, unless they're going to give it indestructible. Yeah, not so good now. That's unfortunate. I really would have liked to be able to flash in the Downslight Archer. Yes, pretty good. Dang, I really felt good about this keep. How many times out of 10 do you think this is a good keep? I bet it's like more times than not. That's interesting that they're doing that on their main phase when they already played their land drop. Jeez Louise. Let's give him the lands. Am I right? Okay. Nice Rajiri. Yikes. Yep, you can tag with it. I will block with the 2-2 though. All right, well, even like this is not looking like super good for us, but okay, there's a land. Still not looking super good for us because they can just attack with everything else. I think I just play the Eclipsed Elf and go get more lands. Let's run through it. So I can play out the 3-2, which can't block anything, and hopefully find a land to have 4 mana next turn. Or I could play 10 the Sprigs, not build my board out at all, and guaranteed have 4 mana, maybe have 5 mana next turn. I guess the benefit of the 10 the Sprigs play is that if I go get black, right, like this doesn't block anything if I play the elf. If I go get black and then I hit a swamp, I can play Gloom Ripper. The other downside to playing this is that I don't get the... I think I'm going to play this. Because I think that, yeah, like playing the elf doesn't... It puts a body out, but that body doesn't do anything. So... All right. Let's give ourselves a chance. This like guarantees that we hit a land. Not super ideal for us. We're going to take some damage here for sure. But even being able to play the chance of being able to play the Blackthorn. I almost want to like throw away the informant to... Actually, I think I do want to do that. I think I want to block the 3-2 with the informant to surveil and try to hit a land on Gloom Ripper. Because then I would have 1 elf. It would still only be 2 elves though, which would kill the Rajiri. All right, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to get lands. Give me a swamp. Well, that's pretty good too. All right, I am going to do that actually. I'm going to leave that on top. Because what I can do then is play the Eclipsed Elf green, hit another land off the elf, and then exile this Water Shaper if they don't have a trick. And now stuff does block if I can kill this water shaper. Okay. They could have a protection spell here, I guess. No, they don't. Okay. Now I can block, and I have hexproof from black and green, which doesn't matter at all. But kind of more importantly, I'm set up for Gloom Ripper next turn, which is where we're going to start to stabilize if we can. And honestly, well, this is a little bit tricky. Because Gloom Ripper, I think I actually have to kill this Scoundrel. Because they're going to, like, this Rajiri is going to get big. But at its biggest, it still trades with the Gloom Ripper. So I will absolutely shrink their board, because elves in the graveyard are just as good. Okay. Play the Gloom Ripper. They could have a counterspell of some kind, I guess. What is the other option? The other option is play out the Forest Druid and leave up the Dawn's Light Archer. That's actually not bad. Or I could play out the Blackthorn. What gets around their stuff more? Like, this Dawn's Light Archer can trade with the Rajiri, which is pretty good. I think I can afford to take 1 damage one more time. I think I kind of like this. Because, yeah, like, if they just have the counterspell, then I want to use it on their turn anyway. Distractor. That's actually fine, because I can give my stuff hexproof, and okay, that's pretty good. That's fine. I'm going to flash this in now. I hope that what's happening is that I'm making their life really hard with this TAM. Like, I hope they just have like removal or something that they cannot use efficiently now. Ooh, Morkin size is pretty good. I think this is probably a pretty good time to play Gloom Ripper out and just kill their Scoundrel. Is there a better time to do this for any reason? Like, they have 2 cards in hand. Like, can I afford to take more damage? I don't think I can really afford to like them play the thing that taps and pumps their Scoundrel. I think I need to just kill it. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think I actually still don't attack here with Tam, though, because I can give stuff hexproof. So even though I can get 5 damage in here, I think I'm not going to do it. And I guess I could have given it to the Druid and attacked for a bunch, but I actually kind of want to leave the blocker back for their 1/1. Like, I don't want them to have any good attacks here. I guess if they have destroy target tapped creature, that's bad for me. Yep, okay. Well, that was going to happen eventually. Do I take 4? Yeah, I'm gonna take 4. I think I can play this and then activate and kill their 1-drop. That's like one option, I guess. Or I could play the Blackthorn and maybe just not. I could Blight onto the Druid, gain like go to 3. And then hope the 3/2 and the Lockmare. Yeah, okay. I see that. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Oh, I should have done it onto the Lockmare. Oh, that is terrible of me. Okay. I guess I guess I still think with this thing to be able to block this thing for now, and I'll have other sources. Do I attack? I don't think so. I think it's okay that I didn't Blight onto the Lockmare. I just need to survive here. And having the 1/2 to be able to block the 1/1. Okay. That's pretty bad for me. Oh, it's not actually, because I can stun it with the Lockmare. I'm definitely going to trade, or attempt to trade. Yeah, I'm not going to put the Lockmare at risk, because I can tap the Lurker down with the Lockmare. Ooh, nice. Oh, that's pretty good too. Oh, dang, I can't do that though. Because, let me just... okay, so I can do that on their turn. But I can't do that and keep out. Just costs 3. So I have 3 mana to work with. So I think I play out another... I think I play out the Elm. And then pass. And I think if they do Blossom Bind... Okay. I think I'm just gonna... This feels bad, but I'm just gonna chump with the Elm, I think. Because I can kill it with Keep Out. Like, I think I'm just gonna do this now. I'm just gonna do 4 damage to target tapped creature. Kill that thing. Play a land. Play the Blackthorn. Blight 2. Gain a life. No attacks. I can only do that so many times, though. All right. I think I'm still going to have to do this again to the Shore Lurker. So let me play... Actually, this is an interesting question. Can I play Morkant's Eyes? I don't think I can play it and activate and get value out of it. So let's do that. Let's play a land. Let's start attacking with the Blackthorn. Maybe I Blight 2 onto the Druid. But then it can't. I don't think I need to... Yeah, I am actually going to do this. I'm going to Blight 2 onto the Druid just to draw a card, go to 2. I'm going to decline. I'm just going to start attacking. because I want to be able to, I need to make this count with the Lochmere. I need to make these count, like I only have so many options here. Okay. I want to do this first and see what I mill. Okay, those are some elves. I think what I'm going to do is attack with the Blackthorn onto the Lochmere, like drawing a card, and then activating more Can's Eyes to make my board super wide. All right, let's go. I guess like one way to think about this is with the blue, like I missed an opportunity to take advantage of a blue pip with Lochmere to draw a card, but I think that's okay. They probably can't handle this. Nice. Well, we rounded it off. Last draft of the format, ending it with a trophy. Yeah, that was a close one. MVP Lochmere. Really, really good. MVP Lochmere, MVP more Can's Eyes. All right, so actually, when we were going back and forth at the beginning about whether or not more Can's Eyes versus the Blight Rot was the right choice, the power spike here ended up working out. This was the single card that let us like dominate in multiple games. So the power spike there is definitely real and worth noting. It's kind of funny because it kind of like this card actually just like really like lines up on the intersection of my like draft tension in this format, where it's like committing to something like this puts you into elves, and like so like it's a risky move in terms of the draft because then you're like more inclined to draft elves versus like I would definitely have played the Blight Rot in any black deck that I played, but then you get to see the power of it when it works out. So yeah, I got to play it to good effect in the very last draft of the format. I got to play elves. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right, I will take it. I will take it. All right, friends. Well, with that, I say thank you. And I say good night because it's late here. And I hope that you all have enjoyed hanging out with me for Lore When Eclipsed. And we'll have some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle content coming up pretty shortly here. So I'll see you for that. I probably won't be able to draft on Monday next week or stream on Monday because I will be going to Virginia for the tournament on Sunday. And I'll be probably staying down there for an extra day. But I might do something in the middle of the week on like Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll let you all know if I'm doing something there. Maybe a recap of the event, see how it went. I'm going to play the LTQ, the Limited Champs Qualifier, at the Spotlight Richmond. So I'm not playing the Richmond Spotlight is a standard, I think. It's a constructed event. It's not a limited event, but on the second day of the event, they have a limited championship qualifier, and so I'll be going to do that. And yeah, thanks. I'll do a recap on how that went, playing a set that I've only had for a couple of days by that point. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Thanks, friends. Goodbye for now. If you haven't already and you're new to the channel, please follow, please subscribe, go to YouTube and like and subscribe there. It really helps out the channel and grows the project. So if you like what you see, please keep coming back and support our videos. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.